I'm very pleased to welcome Rishi Seth, the CEO of 6 Degrees BCW. I've been waiting to interview you, I think, for quite a long time, and I'm very happy to have you on board and get your views on what's happening with the PR business after COVID. Welcome, Rishi.
Thank you, Paro. Thank you for having me on your show.
Rishi, my first question really is that, we're not only looking at slowing growth in the PR business, but perhaps erosion of growth. What is your assessment of the major challenges in this area which the PR business is currently facing?
So yeah, definitely in the short term, because of the sudden uncertainty and lockdown that has been brought into the economy, the PR business, just like wider communications and marketing functions, has had an impact. And some client campaigns have paused for some time, and some client new business that was supposed to come in has been pushed out. So there has been an impact overall across the business. But I think there are new opportunities in terms of extending the digital work that you are doing. In some cases, crisis-related work that we are doing. So it's what I would say is public relations has been affected, but not as badly as say media buying, probably, or even in some cases event management and creative has been. So it's hit, but less than other marketing streams.
Rishi, even before COVID happened, there was a bit of a slowdown in growth for larger PR groups. And of course, BCW has gone through a lot of reorganization in the last 1.5 years. So given that background, what are the main challenges and maybe solutions as well to, has it really created a further layer of problems?
So I think growth was muted last year overall for the sector, but different players had different trajectories. So certain firms did very well. We also didn't have as strong a growth, but was growth here. I think the essential point being that the industry is going through a transition phase, where from traditional media relations work, a lot of execution related, expectations from the clients. The focus is going to be more digital and integrated. The focus is going to be more on content and consulting rather than just execution of media relations campaigns. So in that sense, there is a transition phase for the industry that's happening, and so some agencies which are late on the uptake as far as making those offerings for the clients and being relevant to the clients, they'll have a dip maybe in the short run if they are able to adapt, or long run if they're not, if they take time. The agencies that typically will move fast in their own transitions to match with what's happening with the client. Will have a lesser impact and will continue to grow at a fast pace. In fact, some of those will grow even faster. So I think it's not a general thing that every large agency has been impacted. I think it's a case by case thing on how they are on their journeys for integrated or digital offerings.
Rishi, you've already given some cues on what kind of model, PR model, which we should be looking at. And I know you've had very strong views in the past as well on how the PR model should evolve. Could you, you've shared some views, of course, but could you elaborate for us on what the new PR model should look like already? I mean, we're not even saying that you have a few months, you're saying you have to do it like right now.
Right. So I think public relations is essentially about building reputation, image, perceptions, and for a long period of time, nearly 2 decades in India, the primary tool for building that used to be media, traditional media by all media relations agencies, all public relations agencies, and there used to be some amount of influencer engagement or third-party influence and so on and so forth. However, that is changing rapidly. Traditional media is going through turmoil. COVID has further created issues in terms of the number of people who will be able to cover business or brands or products. So that can become a challenge. And newer mediums consumption on newer platforms is going to grow up exponentially. So the new model A is for you to be able to scale up not only to write how to write a press release, but also how to create a video, how to create an application, how to create a visual, depiction in terms of an animation. So in terms of your content capabilities, it has to change. In terms of your consulting capabilities, also, therefore, you have to change. You just can't advise of how to disseminate a piece of information through an interaction or a press conference, but essentially using an integrated approach to, make the announcement and reach out to the end consumer. So I think there is a fundamental change that everybody will have to think about and execute on. Um, the COVID is forcing people to do that in a much faster pace. So I would say that transition that people could have taken maybe another 2 years to do, I think will have to be done within this year. Otherwise, they will find it difficult to survive in the new world.
You know, a lot of what you're saying calls for significant uptake of skilling. So, to upsell, you'll have to upskill to a large extent. How do you see? I know I'm sorry to put you on the mat, but what kind of solutions do you think can happen for quick upskilling?
So it's not only upskilling; it's actually reskilling. So people who've done content primarily related to, say, text-based content creation, and they were good at communications, but only from one medium. They have to be reskilled to be aware and utilize other mediums also. So I think there is a lot of investment that all firms will have to do in reskilling of people. We are at BCW already doing that. There are training calendars that are put in place for reskilling people. In terms of new talent or talent that we will recruit going ahead, a lot more integrated people with digital capabilities will be required. So in that sense, it will be an effort to even hire horizontally in some cases. Having reputation schools or PR schools or communication schools include that in the curriculum, so that will also have to change. So I think overall it will be a journey that everybody will have to undertake, right from reskilling the current people, putting in intense curriculums. I know a lot of people are doing digital trainings in there. It's the biggest area of focus on training for everyone. Plus hiring, the new hires that you make will be people with digital video, digital media buying skills, and so on and so forth. And the third thing is getting in fresh talent with integrated capabilities, so that over a reasonable amount of time, you are able to focus your talent in the right direction to meet the client's requirements.
Before I move on to another set of questions, one more last question about skilling. A lot of it, some of it, the capabilities may be difficult to acquire. I may be able to do a simple video edit, but maybe I can't do animation. So, from this range of skills that you mentioned, what are the one or two must-have skills that content creators should they have no choice but to acquire?
I think the starting point of this is fundamentally understanding how to utilize each and every medium. So, right, how if you are going to do a new product launch, how will you put TikTok or video into your or Instagram into your plan? How will you use or put animation or Facebook or Twitter into that plan? So the first task is, okay, it's not going to be a press release and an interview or whatever it was that I did it traditionally, but how is the new plan going to look like? Then figuring out, what can I do right now with the skilling that I'm getting? And as you mentioned, some skills are easier to do. So shooting a quick video, editing it through tools that are available, and sharing it with the client. Picking up design skills, that's going to be important because visual is the new way to go. People are not going to read a 1.5 page text release. So how do you capture what you're trying to say in a couple of paragraphs with a few infographics or visuals, so to speak, to tell the same story? So those skills of visual storytelling is what is going to be basically what you need to do. All of it can't come to you in 6 months. So you have to kind of go up the staircase step by step. But basically, my advice to anyone and everyone who is running campaigns is start on that journey, because the old school skills are just going to be obsolete very soon.
That's true. Even journalists are facing very much the same challenge. The consulting model has also always been presented as an alternative, have billable hours, have a very different approach. So the modification of PR is reduced. What are your views on that? It's something which everybody talks about, but very few have actually managed to move to that.
So I think consultancy model has always been one of the routes to engage PR agencies. It's been more predominant in the developed markets, where consulting value has been given, its due value. In India, a lot of consulting actually goes for free, and you get paid for execution. Uh, so as clients want more focus on consulting also, and that becomes the starting point of why an agency gets selected, is the consulting strength of the company, and not how many offices and what execution capabilities it has in terms of physical presence. I think consulting will gain momentum. I think that will be the way to go for more sophisticated and uh, you know mature customers, I would say. Uh, so I see an evolution towards that side. India will take time in that direction, but it is going to be the way. That's going to be a slower transition as compared to the uh, PR agency offerings having to change faster. So I see the offerings moving faster and the consulting moving a little slower, but eventually it'll happen. It'll start with the big, mature, sophisticated clients first.
So, what kind of sectors or size, perhaps company sizes, could you flag off for us, which might be more open to the consulting idea?
So I think clients that are dealing, typically large multinational clients will be the first ones who will move towards this model, who have integrated campaigns, but have strong local operations. So to give you an example, for example, instance, if Walmart is operating in this market, I think they should definitely have a corporate reputation piece. They're not our clients, so that's a disclaimer. But clients like those should have a consulting piece, so that there is a lot going on in the environment out there, uh, or even Google. But so there is a corporate reputation piece that needs to be done on a consulting assignment, and then there is a lot of execution that needs to get done, definitely on the business momentum side, which gets done in a traditional PR consulting way, in terms of mapping on the output or outcomes that are being generated by the client, by the agency. So it'll start in that manner, where complex communication problems exist, and they will get complicated as we enter the post-COVID era. There are lots of variables to take care of. So I think it'll start with companies with big commitments, with complex communication problems, and a need to senior people to constantly advise them on the emerging landscape.
Coming to another part of the last few bits of the interview, we're moving towards the end of the interview with you. My question is that you've, of course, very successfully merged, gone through a merger and an earnout, and that's happened at several levels, at the parent company level and at the company to company level. Do you see that COVID will maybe force another round of consolidation?
I think it will not be the best time to sell companies. So, I don't think acquisitions will happen during this time. Definitely, for seeing the situation worldwide, I don't think many acquisitions will happen. Definitely not in 2020, and I don't see any fresh ones happening either in 2021. I think consolidation will happen in terms of right sizing of a number of companies, depending on some companies, how they get hit, how much they get hit. I think there will be a pruning of some agents that might happen, which were already not maybe doing so well and will get further impacted. Agencies, again, that rely purely on traditional work will get hit more. So there will be consolidation. As I said, some of the old skills are going to be less relevant. PR agencies have to either evolve and offer these new things to clients, or they will search for, or that budget might go to other agencies like a digital agency or a creative agency, the same budget that PR agencies were getting. So, you have to fight for your budget.
So when you come to the medium-sized PR firms who traditionally, for the last 3 to 5 years, especially, are supposed to have done really well and doing good work, but of course it's on a base which is very different from the larger agencies. Any thoughts and insights you have on how they would end up doing or surviving?
So I think, Parul, yes, maybe generally speaking, mid-sized agencies might have done better because they might be more agile or nimble or customer focused, maybe price competitive. But I would say that mid-sized agencies would also need to invest in new skills and capabilities. That's where a larger agency probably has a little bit of an advantage. Uh, so the agencies, even in the mid-sized, which are able to, as you mentioned, continue to do great work and are forward-looking. There are quite a few names out there. They might grow into the big league, and some of the large firms which don't change and don't adapt might come down to being the mid-sized ones. So I think there will be a change in the orders, a pecking order of the industry over the next 2 years, depending on fast one can, people and the leadership of these firms adapt to the changing situation.
One final question, Rishi, as a leader, leader in the PR business, how do you feel? How are you feeling about what's happening? How are you dealing with the whole range of challenges?
Right. So, at a personal level, it is challenging. In my 25 years of a career, I have not sat home for 2 months, 1.5 months uh, at a go. So, being away from my team, not meeting my clients face to face. Of course, we are having video calls and so on, but not, that piece is kind of challenging. Technology is taking care of some of it, but yeah, you're changing and adapting. Uh, at the same time, you have to rethink and refigure what you are doing. So it's a challenging period to keep thinking out of the box, so that you remain relevant to the clients. You are still delivering value to the work that they are doing, because that's very important at this time, because cost is definitely very sensitive for clients right now. So as the firm working for your clients, you have to make sure that you are doing a good job and addressing their concerns, uh, their business concerns is what I mean. So for me, it's about thinking through all the time about how we can continue to do work for our clients, add value to them, even though traditional media or media opportunities are very small because everybody is really interested in COVID communication. So how do you still find your way through? I think that's the challenge, and that's what we've constantly been doing for the last 45 days now.
Thank you, Rishi. As always, your views are strong and focused and always offer me great insights and food for thought. Always a pleasure speaking to you. That was Rishi Seth, CEO of 6 Degrees BCW. Thank you for joining us, Rishi.
Thank you, Parul. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.